50 miles, but it doesn't take that. If you are in the path of a tornado that's on the ground for a mile, that mile was the worst mile of your life. So we urge you, again, take them seriously. Not all tornadoes are the same size or the same intensity, but they all do present a threat to human life. Now, elsewhere in Alabama, we have another tornado-warned storm. This one is up in Greene County, north of Demopolis. So this would be in the northern part of that county. We'll see if the Weather Service in Birmingham extends that into Tuscaloosa County. I'm not sure they will, but we'll keep an eye on that. Everywhere else is fine. There are no active tornado watches in effect, which is a little unusual. These tornado warnings existing in a very marginal environment. We're all on the same page here. The Storm Prediction Center, that's the government experts when it comes to severe weather. The local National Weather Service offices. We've told you all along, and us, that we think the risk of a tornado today is very low. But remember, very low is not a synonym for zero. So that's why you have to kind of watch some of these rogue storms like this one. And it is that. This is a storm that is existing in a highly sheared environment. There you see they've whittled the polygon down now. So again, let me reiterate, if you live in Grove Hill or Thomasville or Jackson in Clark County, this all misses you. If you live in Pineapple, if you live in the Snow community, this all misses you. But out here, southwestern Wilcox is really our kind of main area of concern with this. If you have a tornado, it's right there. We'll zoom in nice and close here. If you have a tornado, it's going to be right now between Nettleboro and Chance. So here's Cane Creek Road. This is Nettlesboro Road, running from Nettleboro back over towards the Chance community. Here's Packard's Bend. So this side of the map right here, this is Monroe County, this is Clark County, and up here would be Wilcox County. I've zoomed it in very, very close here. If we have a tornado, it's going to be moving along Cane Creek Road towards the north-northeast. So that from there, this is going to cross the Alabama River in southwestern Wilcox, just north of the Clark-Wilcox-Monroe kind of junction there, where all three counties come together. That's where it's going to kind of pass here. So let me do a quick storm track on this as well. The movement with this is north-northeast at around 35 to 40 miles an hour. That gets it into Coy in about 15 minutes. And if it holds together, potentially Yellow Bluff. And if it really holds together, maybe Miller's Ferry down the road. Now, Miller's Ferry, you are not in the tornado warning polygon right now. So there's no need for you to take protective action if you live in Miller's Ferry at this moment. But I would urge you to stay weather aware in case this thing does end up on the ground and in case it does stay on the ground for some time. Now, I don't think today's that kind of day, but as a course of least regret, as a precautionary measure, just go ahead and kind of play it that way. So we'll clear our storm track off there so you can see, again, the tornado warning polygon right here. This is for this one storm. Now, you're watching us in the rest of the state. There's really nothing going on. There's some rain out here, Marengo, western Dallas County, a couple of light sprinkles around I-65 from Montgomery to Greenville, but that's really it. This is not going to be the type of weather day where we have multiple long track, big, awful tornadoes. This is going to be the kind of day where we see modest, brief, temporary rotation that may or may not produce brief, isolated tornadoes. They are not going to be on the ground for a very long time. We are not going to have 30 or 40 tornadoes today. So it's not that. This is kind of a more isolated whack-a-mole type situation where if you end up underneath one of these things, it's a big deal. But for the rest of us, it's Selma, Montgomery, Greenville, everything's fine. This is not. So here's your possible tornado here, movement north-northeast. So Culpeper to Coy to Yellow Bluff. Now is the time to take action. If you live in a site-built home, we have some advice to share with you. Now, you live in a mobile home, you've got to get out. Get out of the mobile home. Even if you go lay flat in a ditch, you will have better odds of survival than if you stay in a mobile home. Now, they're both bad options. Let's not sugarcoat it, but inside a mobile home is worse than laying flat in a ditch. If you could live in a mobile home and you leave, as you leave, try to think about grabbing some sort of helmet or head protection. It can even be a big stock pot if you don't have a helmet. It can be any kind of helmet. So If you live in a site-built structure, though, you want to be in a small room in the lowest floor, interior part of your home. Bathrooms work great, and you want to try to have something to cover your head. Again, that can be a helmet, it can be a large stock pot, it can be pillows and cushions, it can be a mattress, anything to protect your head and neck area from flying debris. That is the leading cause of death in tornadoes, head and neck injuries due to flying debris and home collapse. So that's the way you have to play this. You want to try to protect yourself and specifically your head and your neck from this. Other reminders to share with you: lowest floor of your home, small room away from windows, mobile homes and cars, you got to get out. If you live in a mobile home, if you have a family member or a friend you can go stay with nearby, go do that. If you don't, go to a 24/7 business, gas station, anywhere that's open. And you're lucky, right now it's the middle of the afternoon. Many places are open, despite the fact that it's Sunday, a lot of them are. So get to a place like that, and that can help keep you safe during that kind of situation. So we continue with coverage now for at least another 14 minutes for this tornado warning situation. This storm is just about to move out of Clark County. In the next few minutes, I think 5 minutes or so, we'll be able to, the Weather Service will be able to release probably Clark and Monroe from it entirely, and it will just be Wilcox. Also seeing it pop up on the screen, there's a new tornado watch that was just issued from the National Weather Service. In the Storm Prediction Center. That's this area here. So I'll zoom you in over here. This does include a couple of our counties, specifically Marengo, Dallas, Perry. So this is a tornado watch that was just issued until 10 o'clock tonight. It's for these kind of storms, these little isolated low-top supercells. These are not the big April boomers that are 50,000 feet in the air producing baseball-sized hail. We had some of those recently. This is not that. These will be low-top supercells that in a highly sheared environment can spin up a brief tornado. So that's what we're looking at with that. So what we'll do too here, I'll show you what I mean when I say that. We'll do a kind of a 3D storm analysis here. We'll take you down into this storm and show you exactly what I'm talking about. Typically, to produce major severe weather, you see storm heights up above 30, 40, 50,000 feet. You'll notice here, I know it's hard to see, that text right there says 30,000 feet. And it's above the top of this storm. So we show you a lot of different things on radar. Think of this as kind of an MRI, where we are able to show you three-dimensionally the way this storm is operating using our Barron technology and our advanced law firm Storm Track Zone technology. We're able to kind of give you that MRI where we slice this storm open and look inside of it. And that's what we see here. You see the core, you see the main updraft right there. There's the 30,000 feet line right there. So this is all happening in that 20 to 30,000 feet above the ground layer. So that's the reason that this is not going to produce much hail. To get hail, you need to loft all these raindrops up way high into the sky where the temperature is way below freezing. We don't have that today. The other thing I would point out to you is this. You'll notice here as you look, I'll lay this flat, and because of where we are in the world here, notice how there's a big area right here where we can't see anything. See that gap right there? When we talk about the West Alabama radar gap, this is exactly what I mean. We are unable to see anything below about 4,000 feet in this storm because the radar is too far away. We sorely need a radar in southwest Alabama. Now that gets into government bureaucracy and a lot of things that are above my pay grade, but I will tell anyone who listens, this is a life or death situation for so many people in southwest Alabama, not necessarily from this storm specifically, but the fact that we don't have good low-level radar data in this part of the world. And I mean, gosh, you can really just see that gap. You can literally see what I've been telling you about kind of for years here. Notice how, again, in this storm, see that big area right there, that core of black. In storms that we cover in most of our area, we can see data right down in here. You can't on this scan because it's too far from the radar. Just sad, but interesting to see anyway. All right, so as I told you what happened, they've gone ahead and taken Clark and Monroe out. You now have a solo tornado warning for Wilcox County, which oddly enough was not included in the tornado watch. Now, a tornado watch means conditions are favorable for tornadoes. A tornado warning means we think a tornado is happening right now. Now, how we think a tornado is happening right now here, but The conditions aren't favorable for tornadoes because it's not included in the tornado watch. That's a question for another day. Again, that all comes from the Storm Prediction Center. Yeah, personally, I probably would have included Wilcox County in that tornado watch, but to each their own. So there's a tornado watch for Marengo, Dallas, Perry. There's a tornado warning now exclusively for Wilcox County. Now, the next thing we'll have to watch, wait, and see here will be, does the Weather Service extend this polygon on up to include Camden, Miller's Ferry, and perhaps all the way up into the northeastern part of Wilcox? Based on what I'm seeing on radar, I doubt it. But stranger things. We'll check, we'll see what we see here. Don't see any tornado debris. That's good, right? Don't see any signs of hail, nor would we. Again, this is a high cape, or excuse me, a low cape, high shear environment. That means there's a lot of storm instability, a lot of storm energy. There is not a lot of, there's not a lot of that. There's a lot of wind shear. There's not a lot of that storm energy. And we talked a moment ago, if you're just joining us, about how the taller a storm is, the more likely it is to produce hail. This storm is not all that tall, but they can produce these brief spin-up tornadoes. And if we have one, it's right down here. So here's the Alabama River. If we have a tornado, it is on the Alabama River right now, essentially. So here's Coy, here's Culpeper. This is the Wilcox County line. This is Clark County. This is Monroe County. This is Wilcox County. If we have a tornado, it's headed right for the Coy community, anywhere back out towards the river. Take cover now. Get on the lowest floor of your home, hallway, bathroom, or closet. If you live along Hammock Road here, north of 12, go ahead and get in that tornado-safe place. A tornado could be imminent for you as well. So that's the lay of the land. That's the real estate there. Zooming back out, you'll notice most of us are fine and will stay fine. There is a tornado watch in west central Alabama. That runs until 10 o'clock tonight for these isolated cells that are forming. More of these are forming off the coast. I doubt most of that will impact most of our area. If it was your county, you'd want us to cover it. And I know we interrupted the hockey game, and I know I will get called everything but Josh for doing that. But again, if this was your neighborhood, if we were calling out your streets, you'd want us to do that for you. So we owe the same courtesy and coverage to our neighbors and friends down here in Wilcox County. So the tornado warning polygon has been shaved down to just this piece of real estate now, and it is set to expire in 7 minutes. That tornado warning, again, will expire in 7 minutes. The million-dollar question is, what does the Weather Service do after that? Do they extend this on up into northwestern Wilcox or not? And the honest answer is we don't know yet. We will kind of take a watch, wait, and see approach to this. And if we can, in the back, if we could take this full screen, if we could take Max 3 full screen temporarily, I'm going to voice over it for a moment and grab a laptop, and I need to get on NWS chat. If we could take this full screen, there we go. Thank you guys so much. That will allow me to kind of be in better communication with the National Weather Service and see precisely what they are thinking about this interesting little storm that is going out here into Wilcox County. So hopefully National Weather Service chat is up and running. They've had some issues with that in recent weeks, months, years, decades, it seems, but not quite. So with any luck, we'll be able to see what the National Weather Service in Mobile kind of has on their plate. They are the Office of Responsibility for this storm. So they cover Wilcox County. Now, downstream, the next office that would be in this, though, is this is Dallas County and Marengo County. This is going to head towards Dallas. That's Birmingham. Birmingham covers Dallas County. Mobile covers Wilcox. So that's another thing we'll have to kind of play by ear here, is exactly how these counties come together with the National Weather Service. So, but that's all stuff I have to worry about, not stuff you have to worry about. If you live in Wilcox County, all you need to be worrying about, if you live inside that red flashing polygon, all you need to be worrying about is getting to that tornado-safe place. If it's right over Coy right now, we'll check out the storm relative velocity and see what we see there. There is still some modest rotation in this. And we'll zoom it back out a little bit here, see if you get a little better view of it there. So that would be kind of out there towards Coy, right there. We'll center it up in the screen for you. that's where we're talking about, is right there, right on the Alabama River, downstream from Miller's Ferry. So this would be Culpeper to Coy in southwestern Wilcox County would be our kind of areas of concern here. And places where you need to get in that tornado safe place. If you live in downtown Camden, this is probably going to stay a bit west of you. Some of you with a Camden address that live well west of downtown, you need to be paying attention, but that would be the exception rather than the rule, I think. I think most of Camden doesn't get hit by this. So it's 4:56. We can come back to Cam 6 there. Look at that. That is great director work back there. So thank you very much. They were anticipating that move before I even said anything. You love it when a plan comes together. So tornado warned storm southwest of Coy, movement here towards the north-northeast. This is not moving like this. This is moving really more like that. So this goes west of downtown Camden. And we don't think it will give downtown Camden many problems. But some of those western areas and really more out towards Miller's Ferry, and the eastern part of the Pine Hill community and Yellow Bluff. So there's Yellow Bluff right there. There's downtown Camden. If we have a tornado, it's right here, kind of moving along the Alabama River. Now, we will note a couple of other logistical notes here. The Weather Service in Birmingham now calling the storm in Greene County a confirmed tornado. So that's how they're wording that. So the Weather Service in Birmingham also saying they are watching that storm moving towards Dallas County right now. So they're obviously, you know, we're very fortunate here to have some of the best National Weather Service offices in the country serving our people. So they're watching it very carefully. Let's see. Wilcox County, haven't heard anything else from the Weather Service as of about 9 minutes ago when they canceled for Clark and Monroe, but we told you that ahead of time. So there's no revelation there. So here's the storm itself. This is a tiny little thing. You hesitate to even call it a thunderstorm. I'll turn on the lightning data. This is not even producing lightning. So is there a tornado with this? We don't know. The radar data is inconclusive because we are too far away from the radar. But typically, if there's not lightning, the odds of you having a tornado are exceptionally low. Checking out the Storm Prediction Center, when they issued the tornado watch, now, again, to kind of reset the stage here, tornado warning for Wilcox, tornado watch out here in west central Alabama. Again, a tornado watch means you have a basket full of sugar and flour and chocolate chips. A tornado warning means you have chocolate chip cookies. So to give you a food analogy there, a watch means the ingredients are there. The warning means it's happening. You've got it. So the reason they issued this tornado watch up here, they talk about a kind of a weak warm front across west Alabama. And as the storms develop and interact with that weak warm front, there's a little corridor of tornado potential here over the next couple of hours along this front. Now, I think most of it's up here, kind of in the middle of the watch. We're dealing with kind of a fringe storm down here, but I'll go to the Birmingham radar. That'll give us better look at this. But I think most of the tornado threat is closer to that warm front. This one down here is kind of a rogue storm doing rogue things, but we'll see. Again, they're calling this a confirmed tornado. So let's look at this. And I'm not neglecting Wilcox. I just want to very quickly go in and see what we see here. There's a little bit of a debris signature there. This is Greene County. This is Tuscaloosa County. So this is going to go, we'll go back to the reflectivity here. This thing's wrapped up pretty tight. This is going to go up into the western parts of the city of Tuscaloosa. So this would be along US 82. If you have family or friends at the University of Alabama, this goes west of them. It's really the only reason I wanted to show you this, quite frankly, is just to give you some sort of peace of mind. So there you go. As of 5 o'clock, the Wilcox County tornado warning has expired. That, again, was the reason that we were on. So we are going to take a quick commercial break. But we're not going anywhere. In fact, John O'Connor is right there because our 5 o'clock news is scheduled to start right now. So we'll take a quick break and be back with WSFA 12 News at 5 next.